Thank you for joining me today. As we begin, I want to say how proud I am of our community response over the past couple of months. This is a trying time for our city. People are hurting, and as your mayor, your neighbor, and your friend, that's a very hard thing for me to accept. It's hard to see local businesses struggle at the mercy of current events through no fault of their own. It's difficult to know friends and family members who are living on the edge because they have underlying conditions that make this COVID virus very frightening. But at the same time, I want to encourage, and I am optimistic. During these days, I have continued to see what I've always seen in Jonesboro, a resilient and caring and faith-filled community of neighbors willing to go the extra mile for those around them. I've seen enough to know that we are going to be okay. We're going to be better than okay because we are Jonesboro strong. The March 28th tornado ripped through our community just as we were trying to get a handle on social distancing and the beginning of dealing with COVID-19. But even with all the uncertainty of the situation, the local search and rescue and cleanup efforts that started immediately included many neighborhood volunteers as well as first responders from the city, the county, and the surrounding communities. Over my 27 years of public service, I have never witnessed such cooperation across all levels of government or more help from the business community and private citizens working alongside their hurting neighbors. I have never been prouder to be the mayor of this community than I am right now. The COVID-19 coronavirus has affected the world, the country, and our home in serious ways, both medically and economically. We are continued to face unique challenges daily. We are fighting an enemy that we cannot see and that we know very little about, and we seem to be learning something new every day. This is a moving target with deadly consequences, and I want to thank our state officials, our medical community, our local community leaders for all the encouragement, support, and experience. Our city has a rich history of pulling together, and I'm confident that we will again show our resolve and that we will emerge from a current events coming the weeks, and we will be stronger than ever. So today, as we turn our attention to our future, I'm putting in motion our Next Steps initiative. This is the beginning of our local plan as the governor prepares to reopen our economy. Step 1, help lead our local economy back to vibrancy. This is no question that people are anxious to get back to work. The economic uncertainty and the financial pressure that is putting on our local families is something we need to address as quickly as possible. As our local business community opens back, I want to make sure that we as a city are doing whatever we can to help make sure that the transition is as safe, quick, and profitable as it can possibly be. My current Chief of Staff, Mike Downing, has a long and successful background in economic development. Having led these efforts on both statewide and local level, Mike is the perfect choice to take the reins of this assignment. Additionally, Mark Young, Executive Director of our Chamber of Commerce, has recently been appointed by Governor Asa Hutchinson to serve on the Arkansas Economic Recovery Task Force, where he also serves on the Commerce Committee. Effective today, I have directed Mike to refocus the majority of his time and energy to work alongside Mark, as well as other city and county leaders, to create an appropriate safe action steps to formulate a far-reaching, thorough plan forward for economic recovery and redevelopment. We will assemble focus groups of local leaders in retail, hospitality, real estate, banking, and construction, among others. These groups will help us make a better understanding of the significant segments and give us a direction as to what we can do to try and help facilitate any needs or assistance that may be available moving forward. We will then use our network of state and federal agencies as well as our relationships with government leaders at all levels to make sure our local economy knows where they can go for help. Economic strategies and action steps will be reassessed and adjusted as the future conditions change. Initially, these steps will include 1. Rapid and thorough assessment of the economic challenges facing our local retail and service businesses. 2. Individuals need assessment for key business prioritized to what they will have in the most significant immediate impact. And 3. Building a common vision for our recovery. 4. Identify small businesses that will need targeted assistance. I'm excited about the commitment and leadership Mike and Mark will bring in leading this important step. Step number 2, lift our existing overnight curfew. In dealing with this pandemic, multiple factors went into the decision to implement our current overnight curfew. The recommendation was made after much consideration and consultation with local health agencies as well as our own public safety departments. As a practical matter, for example, a combination of the recent COVID and tornado left our police department and other first responders burdened with a shortage of protective gear. We have been working diligently during this time to make sure that we are protecting our officers on the front line and have aggressively worked to replenish our inventories for personal protective equipment so that they can safely function at maximum level. Because of the success of these and other efforts, I am lifting the curfew as of Friday, May the 1st. On behalf of the men and women on the front line fighting this virus, I would like to say thank you to the citizens of Jonesboro for their patience, understanding, and cooperation during the curfew. By working together, we have managed to keep our active cases at or below what was projected, and I consider that a victory for our entire community. Now, as a word of caution, experts in healthcare still believe that we have not reached our COVID peak locally. We will have a strong probability that cases could rise, and I'm asking everyone who lives in or visits our city to continue to use best practices of social distancing and other recommendation strategies to try and limit potential exposure. Moving forward, I am confident that our citizens will use their best judgment in keeping themselves and those around them as safe as possible. Step 3, ongoing assessment of city finances. Our City Finance Director, Steve Perrin, has done an excellent job of working with state and local economists to forecast the impact of the crisis of our sales tax revenues. Steve recently gave an excellent presentation on our current financial status and the potential impact this could have on existing reserves. I am directing Steve to continue to be aggressively proactive on this matter and to provide consistent feedback to our administration, the City Council, and our department heads as to the best practices for managing any forecasted budget changes. I want to ensure that the citizens of Jonesboro that we are and will continue to manage through this crisis in a financial responsible manner. We are going to emerge from this period in our history stronger than ever, and I am looking forward to that day with great anticipation. Thank you, and God bless Jonesboro.